What is up, you guys? It's Frank the Tank, and welcome to week number 17 of this Friday Winter League. Technically, you're looking at week number 18, but I chose to title week number 18 number 17 in an effort to avoid any kind of confusion for anybody who just tunes in or anybody who watches the league playlist that I have in my playlists and on my channel. Anybody who tries to watch this from beginning to end. The real week 17 was actually last week. So, like I said, this is week number 18 that you're technically watching, but I chose to make it 17, and I'll explain why right now. Last week, I chose to not attend week number 17 because of the hazardous weather conditions that came about over here where I live. It got very, very windy. It was raining really, really hard. There was some parts around that were flooding. So I just felt it wasn't worth the risk to drive all the way to the lanes to bowl. It's a 40-minute drive from where I live to get to the lanes. And, just driving in such conditions, I just felt it was too risky. And I just didn't want to put myself at risk for that. So I chose to miss week number 17, and I put out a community post, if any of you saw that, letting you guys know that I was going to not attend week number 17. So luckily, the manager, who, God bless her, was very understanding of the whole situation. So instead of counting week number 17 that I didn't attend as a forfeit, she said, listen, I will give you a 2-week window to make up that week, but that is it. So yeah, I talked with my 3 other teammates, and 2 of them are going to be unavailable for that week that we're going to be making up. So I talked to my 3rd teammate, and she said that she will be available. So I discussed with her the time and the day of which we are going to be doing this, and we have the time and day, so we will officially be making up that day. So no weeks will be missed. So because of that, I chose to make this week number 17, and that week that we're going to be making up will be week number 18. So be on the lookout for that, and it will be coming a lot earlier than usual. You guys know, I never really did announce this, but you guys, I'm sure, have probably figured it out by now, that I bowl on Friday nights, and then I work through the weekend as hard as I can to try to get the video finished and uploaded on Mondays. So this video, I'm going to be, we decided that we're going to be making up this day on Wednesday. So there is a chance that you guys will be seeing week number 18 somewhere during the week. So you're going to be getting quite a bit of uploads, I guess. So, or at least I'm going to try to get this all done pretty quickly. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to let you guys know of. I'm not sure. I hope I didn't miss out. I hope I didn't leave out anything that I'm trying to explain here. But that's pretty much all there is. And yeah, yeah, the rest that I want to explain is really like that in regards to my performances. I'll let you guys know of that as we get into the video. So I'll leave it there, and I guess let's roll the clip. All right, you guys, here we go. Week number 17, technically 18, on lanes 1 and 2. What a better way to start this off, huh? You should have seen when I walked into the building, I was walking across the entire building, looking for looking on the monitors at the team names, wondering where our team name was, and I'm like, and then when I finally saw it, I realized, oh great, 1 and 2, how nice. So yeah. I whipped out the idol, I believe. Yeah, the idol, because really, I don't think we've ever seen the idol. If I have brought it, if I have taken it to league before, then I just don't remember. But if I have, then it's been quite a while. So I figure, why not whip that one out? So I felt that like it was kind of risky to do that because you guys know how bad lanes 1 and 2 are, and then not only that, you know, I still have yet to go to practice. We're already halfway through January, and I haven't gone to practice because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I've been busy, but at the same time, even if I'm able to find the time to go and practice, I just am not motivated enough to get up and go. So. And then not only that, the weather conditions have also prevented me from being able to go. But, you know, all of that aside, I just, you know, have lost the motivation to go. And unfortunately there, the ball didn't return, so I ended up leaving the 2. But yeah, already we're off to a not so great start in 2023. I mean, I've been feeling the laziness. I've had lack of motivation, you know. I've really, this is probably... You know how, okay, have any of you ever felt like you've wanted to quit? Like you've wanted to like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Well, I think I've officially reached my lowest point here. Like I've literally wanted to like not go and bowl. Like I barely mustered up the strength, the energy to get up and go to league. I was actually pretty close to saying like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I actually almost did that. But you know what? I got my stuff. I got my crap together, and I'm gonna get back into it. I will. I'm not quitting. I'm not a quitter. So I'm gonna be getting back into this. I will go to practice too. You know, I just I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna find the strength and the energy to get up and go, but I will. I promise you that. But anyway, here we go using the idle. So far, off to a pretty bad start. Chopped on the 2-8, picking up that idle that we haven't seen in the longest time. Great ball. And unfortunately that one, I don't know what happened there. I want to say it looked like a high hit, but I don't think it really was. It looked pretty good. Why the 7 stayed there is beyond me. So we're starting off on 22.5, and usually I line up on 22 with this ball, but because I haven't practiced, I've lost... my form has been all out of whack, and yeah, my release all out of whack. Everything's been out of whack. But that's what you can expect when you haven't gone to practice in like almost a month and a half. That's right, it's been almost a month and a half since I last practiced. So yeah, my delivery was slow, my approach was terrible, and you're gonna see it throughout this entire night. I couldn't even post at all, and if I did post, it was sloppy. Like that. I mean, that's just so ugly. Ugh, terrible, terrible. But yeah, I've had to make some adjustments to my game because of I feel like I've lost power. You know, I feel like my speed is slower. My rev rate got slower. I really got to get back into this. And there I go, missing a 10. I tell you, we're off to a really great start, aren't we? Alright, so I think we're on the 4th frame now, and after what happened, I think I made the move to 23. Kind of dropped it there. But it worked, and I did that because of what I saw on both the left and right, the shots that I did, the previous shots on the left and right lanes. So I thought either my speed is getting slower, or the level of friction on this lane is higher than the rest of the pair of lanes in this house, you know. Remember, we've been on this pair many times already, and that's usually what happens on this pair. It dries up a lot quicker than any of the others, and it's just crazy. So yeah, here we are on 23, board 23, because my speed is slow and the topography on this pair, man, it gets you moving left because I don't know why the oil really dries up quite quickly on this pair, and you know, you see, look at that ball has some serious hooking power. I mean, the idle overall is strong and early, but wow. So yeah, a combination of my lack of power and my experience on these lanes, I know that this pair likes to dry up pretty fast, even if they have changed the pattern to add more oil up the middle part of the lane. So I was gonna make it work though. I was gonna make it work, and there we go. That right there, you see that? That's gonna be me throughout the night. because I have not practiced, and this is me at my worst, if I had to say. But at least I know I can at least pick up what I leave from time to time. So I've already lost track of where we are on frames. But I'll figure it out. And then right there, I ended up doing the exact same thing that I did on the left lane. And what do you know? Back-to-back baby splits. The question is, can I pick up back-to-back baby splits? Unfortunately not. Okay, I figured it out. We're on the 8th frame already. That was fast. Jesus. I guess that's what happens when you talk a lot, huh? So I knew that because of my situation, I was probably not going to be lasting very long with this idol. So, luckily, I had a ball for this kind of situation. And that wasn't even Brooklyn. Somehow all of them fell. So, because of what I felt like I was losing sight of whatever, you know, when the ball was rolling down, this idol was rolling down the lane, I felt like I was losing sight of whatever I was trying to look at, you know, like, I don't want to believe that the pair was already starting to deteriorate and the oil was starting to disappear. But like I said, you know, this pair is known to have the oil disappear quite quickly. I do know now, from the amount of times I've been on this pair, that they have to oil this pair twice in order for it to be, you know, a good pair. And if they oil it once, it's very likely that it'll end up being that kind of pair where the oil will disappear right at the beginning of game 2, right at the end of game 1, and I think it was really starting to show here. I mean, so that's why I felt like I wasn't going to be lasting long with this idol. So luckily, I brought what I felt was the right ball for such a situation, and I was lucky that I brought this ball. Like, something told me before, you know, I even got to the lanes, take this ball because you just never know. And that ball is none other than the Fate. That ball is fantastic when the lanes are starting to transition. I can tell you that based on experience. So use that ball, and I think I stood on board 22, so half a board to the right of where I was standing with that. No, not half a board, a full board to the right from where I was standing. So we go from 23 down to 22, and the Fate really is great. I mean, yeah, that rhymes. I can tell you from experience, right out of the box, the ball has a lot of length to it, and it does not really get around the corner really quickly. So that to me shows that you have to put a fair amount of games on the ball. Get some oil on that cover in order for it to be able to grab at the friction a little better and to turn the corner a lot more with a lot more shape. So I've already put well over 12 games at least on this ball. I've lost count, honestly, but I know I put well over a dozen games on this ball, and it is working out nicely, and it now works great on, I can tell you, it works great on the fresh, and it works great when the lanes start to dry out. So right there, I ended up double dribbling, because I actually was, I chose to try something a little bit new. I changed my hand position. I can't really get into detail about that because, you know, it's difficult to explain, especially because I don't have a ball with me. But I've tried to keep my throwing hand from working its way up to the top of the ball at the top of the swing. I've tried to actually keep it more at the bottom. And you can actually see here. See that right there? I'm working on trying to keep my hand like that because when I get to the top of the swing, my hand actually works its way up here, and that causes me to like kind of drop the ball onto the lane, and it also causes my supporting hand to kind of change where my hand is originally. So I figured that out, and I've been working. In the 10 minutes of practice, I actually tried to experiment with that. So it didn't work out, as you could see. I double dribbled it, but I kind of held it. Yeah, and then doing that also, because it felt weird, it caused me to fall off at the foul line as well. So yeah, I can tell you guys, if you want a ball that can kill two birds with one stone, that Fate is it. It's great on fresh, but first put at least a dozen or so games on it, get some oil on that cover for you to get a better reaction out of it. You know, out of the box, it's not great. I admit that. The ball, like I said, it really gets way further down there, and it doesn't really turn the corner at, like all that great. But then again, you know, the ball does have a pretty high differential, but you know that it also has a good amount of well, I forget what the differential number is on the Fate, but I know that the RG is also high as well, which is why the ball has some length. But you know, that differential also makes up for it. But right here, I decided to test the zero gravity just to see what I'm working with, and it was from this that I got quite a bit answered. Look at that. That's when I realized, wow, the friction really is getting pretty high down lane, so I put that zero gravity away immediately. So we end game one with the 170. Not great, but then again, me not having practiced at all, what can you expect? So I made the decision that we're going to continue with the Fate, as it, like I said, it's a great ball on the fresh, and it's great for when the lanes start to dry up, because it becomes easier to read when the lanes dry up, and it turns into like a dark code in a way, like a dark code with higher RG and lower differential. So a toned down dark code, which is very interesting. So yeah, get yourself a Fate if you want something that can really, if you want something for when the lanes start to dry up, something to use way later in the block. This ball is that. See what I mean? It looks really good. So the shot, it did seem okay, but from that I knew I needed to make a move the next time I got on that left lane, because of that was just a high hit. So the tough part for me was trying to figure out whether I needed to make a move on this right lane or not. So I think, let me see. Yeah. On this right lane, I decided to make that move to 22.5 after being on 22 because of what I saw on that left lane, and it turned out to work. I paid attention to that 10 pin, but I felt like it was still the right move. So here I went, I believe we're now in the third frame, and made the move to 22.5 after watching that high hit. Double dribbled it again, and you can see, like, really, Frank, you did that again? I don't know how the heck that got back, but it did. You know, to tell you the truth, I'm actually kind of surprised that that didn't leave a 7 or a 10. I mean, just look how it doesn't necessarily do a, you know, a clean change of direction. I mean, it, like, you see, watch. Kind of like a incomplete hockey stick type of motion. Right there. That's quite a lot of time for the ball to be lined up to the pocket. That should have been in, like, a 10 or a 7. But that didn't happen. That, to me, honestly looked like a hook stop kind of motion, so that definitely should have been a 10 or a 7, but I guess I gotta take them any way I could get them. Yep, I knew that one was pretty terrible. So that shot was very obvious. I got it left of my target. I set it up to go on that 8-9 board kind of early, and as a result, I left that, but I picked it up, luckily. So me knowing that I was going to not be able to post a single shot at the foul line, I thought just focus on where you're laying it down, and as long as you can do that, you'll be able to do that. Yeah, that shot was obvious. I got it way too right, and it came back light. And I am not trying to rhyme on, like, intentionally. I don't even know, like, I'm just making this stuff up as I go along. And you know what I just realized? That this guy left the 2-8, and so did I. And take a look at this. Throws a Rubicon UC2. Does that. Gets the 2, but does not get that sleeper. And he's actually the one who pointed out to me that we both left the 2-8, and now the pressure was on me to try to pick mine up. Well, I got mine, so it's all good. Yeah, see, even I was like, there we go. There we go. You know, one thing I really don't like is when you leave the 5 pin and everybody has their hand up. That's when the pressure really is on. Alright, so on this shot, of course, bad balance. And somehow I managed to get that 7 out of there. But I tell you, there's that motion again. That kind of, I don't know. It's like a very ugly hockey stick kind of motion. Like, see, it gets there, right? And because of the friction that's building up here, the ball does get back, luckily. If this lane was still fresh, that ball would have so gone towards the 3 and totally not even gotten into the pocket. You see that? It doesn't necessarily complete turning the corner. And look at that deflection right there. It doesn't even continue. And watch that 7. See that? Still there. But I got away with it yet again. Very undeserved strike. So really, that was going to be my objective for the night, to try to score high here. I knew that the form was going to be terrible throughout the night, so just focus on the laydown area so that you could repeat shots, so that you'll be able to strike. You know, I got to tell you, Belmo and the Storm team really did a great job with this fate. I mean, it's pretty good on the fresh, although sometimes if the lane is really, you know, if the pattern was like 25 milliliters or higher or something, this ball, I wouldn't recommend it. Not until later when the lanes start to dry up. But, you know, on the house shot, it would definitely work really, really nicely, depending on how, you know, how much oil they like to apply to get their the house shot on where you guys bowl. Here, it's like 22, 23, I don't know. I've heard that it's 22 milliliters of oil. That's not so bad. So this ball would definitely be great to take right out of the bag in game 1. And obviously, based on my own experience, I could say that this ball definitely works great when the lanes start to dry up. It becomes surprisingly much easier to read, and also it doesn't like overhook. It really handles those dry spots really well. So Belmo and the Storm team, round of applause. This is a great ball. You know, I finally found a ball that can do those two things for me. Works great on the fresh, works great for later in the block. And works great even if you fall off balance at the foul line. But yeah, I really love that this thing basically becomes a toned down dart code when the lanes start to dry up. A dart code with higher RG and lower differential. So you don't really have to like really move too far to the left when the lanes start drying up. And this proves it. I mean, these lanes are already drying up. They didn't oil them properly, I assume, but yeah, I mean, look at that. It looks really nice. It's almost like you can't even tell that there's a dry spot down there. And there is. So despite the terrible form, we managed to put up a really good one to make up for that mediocre 170 in game 1. We put up 5 in a row. And right there, I got a cramp. My leg went up right here, I believe. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Right there. My leg went up and suddenly I felt the cramp right here. And nothing is worse than getting a cramp right here in the back of your leg. You know that feeling when like your that part of your leg is in a vice and it's like something or someone is like squeezing and it gets tighter. Oh man, that feeling is the worst. I don't know what happened. I will admit that I failed to stretch before the beginning, which is something that I kind of do before league starts. But my leg went up right there and over to the left and I felt it right there. So I got out of it, hopped, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. So I ran that one out to recover from that cramp as quickly as I possibly could because I didn't want to keep anybody waiting. But we put up a really good 257, so that's definitely going to boost us up, and it'll definitely help us in trying to get a 600 because obviously that 170 definitely forced us to make up some serious ground for these last 2 games. But we did it, and now we have game 3 to go. And if I wanted a 700, I would have to put up something in the 270s, and that seems pretty much impossible, even though I have done the impossible. You guys remember when I got my first 700? I needed like 290 and I got, or something like that? No, I needed 280 something and I got 290, or 288 actually. So to achieve 700, and I did it with a dart code, so that was really awesome to do, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that. Because of the bad form, and I literally was not focused. I was all out of whack, and you know the lanes were starting to get pretty tough. Lanes were drying up, but all I could do was just do what I said I was going to do, and that was focus on where I'm focus more on where I'm laying it down, and that'll be my method of being able to repeat shots. It's the best I could do with lack of practice. That was a pretty good one. I didn't like the form, but that was real nice. I tell you, this fade, beautiful for when the lanes are drying up. So I believe we're on 2 in a row already. Nice way to start. Oh, I got lucky there. And I knew it too based off of that reaction. You saw my arm swing like that. Psst. Yeah, that was basically me telling the 7 to get the heck out of my face. Yeah, unfortunately, I got that one to the right a bit early than I wanted to. I got it through the arrows like I wanted it to in between 3 and 4, but unfortunately, yeah, right there, I knew it was wrong. Because then it set it up to go, and then remember, we need to remember that the level of friction, it keeps increasing with every throw, at least. That's what I thought, because right through the nose it went, and I left the Greek church, or grandma's teeth that they also like to call it. So of course I was going to play it safe and go for the count. And you always hope that something will bounce out, but it didn't happen this time. Alright, so here we are on the right after that Greek church. And this is when you know the shot is good. Just walk away from it. Just walk away. You know. You know. Okay, so going back on the left lane after noticing how the ball turned the corner the last time I was here. Watch, right there. You see that? I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to make the move. What I did there was I was on 22 and a half, right? Yeah, and then I decided I would go to 23 and a half. I felt like going to 23 wasn't going to be enough, so I actually made a full board move. I went from 22 and a half to 23 and a half. I believe that's a full board move. I'm not good at doing the math, and I'm definitely not good at picturing things in my head, but that's what I did. 23 and a half. And it worked, despite the fact that I thought it was bad to begin with. I thought I got it wrong. I thought that was going left. It looked kind of left, didn't it? But luckily the ball held enough to make it there, as you could see. So that was half and half. That half because I fell off at the foul line, and half because I thought it was a bad shot. Alright, so on this shot, unfortunately, got it too wide. And ended up leaving that. Luckily, I knew what to do with it. That's easy stuff. Just pick it up like if you were picking up just the 2-8. Easy stuff. Alright, so on the 8th frame, based off of what happened that last time, I still was on 23 and a half, I believe. And yeah, this is what ended up occurring. Look at that. That ball just totally peeled. Went left. I mean, that was crazy. Turned the corner like if it was an idol. Look at that. Almost, that was basically through the nose, and I left the 9. I was lucky that it wasn't a split, because that basically looked like it went through the nose and not a high pocket hit. Okay, I believe we are now on the 9th frame, and this shot, I knew instantly because of how it got around the corner what was going to happen. 10 pin. I could tell. Like, as soon as I saw what it did when it got around the corner, I'm like, oh great, 10 or 7. Or maybe 7-10. Luckily it was just the 10. But still, who the heck wants to see a 10 pin, right? We want to see strikes. Alright, so we've made it to the 10th frame already. I feel like this stuff just passed us by. And just for the heck of it, I picked up the pitch black. And also, not that it matters because it's already the last frame, but usually I line up on board 12 when the lane is fresh with urethane. But because of how it was getting pretty dry down here, I thought, let's try board 14, because I do remember some time ago I was using urethane and the lane was kind of dry and I had to make a move. And I remember I moved to 14 when that happened. So I thought, let's try moving to 14 here. And this is what happened. So it seemed pretty good, but as you can see, the ball refused to get any more to the right. It stopped right there. Look at that. right about there. It should have kept going that way, but instead it stopped right there because the oil was starting to disappear. So it stopped right there and decided to give me that. So clearly moving to 14 was not enough. I would have had to move more to the left. But I'm never going to know because I did that. Chopped on the 6, and as a result, not only did I miss out on the chance to increase my average by 1, but I also missed out on the chance to get another 200 game. And you're going to see why. Watch. Let's take a look at the summary. All right, so looking at the summary for week number 17, we started off pretty slow with the 170 and then really made up for it with the 257. And game 3, we ended it with a 193. So that made up for a series total of 620, which is actually pretty great considering how bad I was playing. I'm surprised it wasn't any lower, but again, that 257 really is what did it in the end. And last week's series total was 696. And the part that I was talking about where I missed out on the chance to increase my average plus 1, there you see it. I needed 627 and I got 620, but because I chopped on that 610, I couldn't get the opportunity to throw another ball in the 10th, thus missing out on that chance. So my pin total after week 17 is now 10,346. We made it past 10,000 pins. Yay! And I should have been past 10,000 a long time ago, but because of the mediocre scores that I've been putting up, it took until week 17 to do that. But after 51 games played, my average went up from 0.62 to 0.86. So we're getting closer to 203, but I could have done it had I gotten past 627, but I didn't do that. So my highest game continues to be 279 from week 15, and my highest series continues to be 696 from week 16. So that covers it for week number 17, and week number 18 will be coming a lot sooner than you think because, like I said, I will be bowling that on a Wednesday instead of a Friday. And then, of course, I still have to bowl week number 19 on Friday. So we got a lot of stuff to do. So week number 18 is definitely going to be interesting because, well, we have to. We're not going to be bowling in a league type of environment like you guys saw right now, you know, surrounded with a bunch of people. It's just going to be me and my other teammate, and it's going to basically look like we're practicing because there's going to be no one around. I mean, there is going to be another league on the far side of the building, but apart from that, it's just going to be the two of us on a pair of lanes. So I imagine that the scores are probably going to be pretty high because it's not going to feel like league to us. It's going to feel like practice because of how, you know, it's going to look for us. So it's going to be interesting what that looks like. So definitely going to have to take advantage of that, though, because, you know, like I said, it's not going to feel like a league kind of environment when we do this week number 18. So it's going to feel like a practice session for us. So I'm probably going to take urethane, probably going to take the Fate again because of how good it was looking. And I don't know, we'll see. But definitely going to take the zero gravity because that ball definitely stays in the bag as it's become something very reliable to me. So, but I think what I'm probably going to do is use the pitch black since it's just going to be me and my teammate, you know, try to take advantage of the situation. So, yeah. That's it for week number 17, and I'll be seeing you guys real soon for week number 18. So, see you on week 18.